Hey, Steve Gamache here for Chef Knives to Go with another quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Takayuki Ginga Gyuto 210mm knife. This has a all stainless construction for low maintenance, and you can see it's a real looker with a lot of dramatic aesthetics to it. It's got a fairly polished blade, so we'll try to keep the reflections to a minimum where possible. The core steel is ZA18 full stainless steel. You can read a little bit more about that on the product page on the website. The heat treat's around 60 to 61 Rockwell for that core steel. And what they've done is put multiple layers, I believe it says 69 layer Damascus finish on this. On either side you've got multi-layered stainless, soft stainless finish. This thing to focus, there we go. So you've got a very dramatic effect. So they've done a little bit of etching to that to make the layers pop and then polish the blade a fair amount. It's not a mirror polish, but it's pretty polished. So very dramatic look. All stainless construction for ease of maintenance. The weight and dimensions are going to vary a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 145 grams or 5 ounces. The edge length is about 217 millimeters on this one from the tip to the back of the heel, so that's usable cutting area. You've got about 8.5 inches on that. The overall length is about 14.4 inches with the handle. The handle's fairly long, but it's light, so it doesn't affect the balance point too much. The spine thickness, you'll see this is a pretty thin blade. So the spine thickness at the back, I got about 1.9 millimeters above the back of the heel here. And then halfway down, which is my standard measurement, I got about 1.75 millimeters. So it's a pretty thin blade overall. The blade is pretty darn stiff despite that thinness. And if you look at the tip, on camera, there we go. If you look at the tip, you'll see this thins out really nicely at the tip. So very high performance grind to this. Let's look at the back side of the blade. This is the choil back here. Our camera to do a focus there, but you'll see this is thin at the edge as well. The grinds are nice and clean on this. The blade is very straight. Again, fairly stiff for its thickness. Handle is really pretty. This is an octagonal ambidextrous handle that has wenge for the wood, and this is highly figured on this example, and then black buffalo horn for the ferrule. And it's a little unusual these days to see black buffalo horn on stuff, or buffalo horn of any kind, but it's a real nice touch. Very high class handle, workmanship's nice, fit and finish is very good. The install looks nice and tight and glue up. Looks like completely glued up, so you don't have any moisture worries there. The handle itself, you can see, is a little bit on the square side from the octagonal perspective, but it feels nice in the hand. It's about 73 millimeters in circumference where the two materials meet, about 2.9 inches, so in line with this size of a knife. The neck of the blade where it goes in the handle is flush at the bottom of this with the handle, so that makes a nice spot for your finger to go for a pinch grip. Speaking of that balance point, again, I mentioned the handle's a little bit on the long side, but it's light, it's not too heavy, so that brings the balance point in front of the choil, which again, the choil is the back of the blade here, and so that's not perfectly neutral on a pinch grip, but not too far off. So for me, a pinch grip would be up in here, and so it's just a touch handle heavy, but not too much, depending on where your grip might be. The fit and finish is very nice on these. We'll get our close-up beauty shot here. And the spine has been relieved a little bit. The choil has been relieved a little bit. So it's very comfortable right out of the box. Fit and finish is very nicely done. We've got hand chiseled or etched, not etched, engraved kanji on here. So this is a hand engraved kanji on this knife. It feels really cool. You can feel the ridges when you run your finger across it. And the left side of the blade as you'd be holding it, so that was the right side of the blade as you'd be using the knife. This is the left side of the blade with the steel, the maker, and the location. And you can see the layers, and then this is the core steel peeking out there from the bottom. What else here? I'd say about a 6 out of 10 on my sharp out of the box scale. So decent sharpness out of the box. This will sharpen up very nicely if you want to put the work in it and you know what you're doing with the sharpening method that you use. But this will get quite sharp. It's a nice steel for kitchen knives. Here is the cutting edge profile for this guy. And what you're going to see is a really versatile profile. So this thing will rock easily. It's got a bit of a flattish spot towards the middle back half of the blade. It kind of flows into the heel, and then it's not super aggressive on the tip. I can still get up in that area in terms of height on a rock, so that'll handle medium to low product with no problem. You could even do draw cuts if you want to raise the blade a little bit for tip draw cuts on stuff. And so this is a very multi-purpose profile that'll handle a variety of techniques nicely. Glide cuts, push-pull cuts, rocking, a little bit of chopping towards the back half of the blade. So pretty versatile profile. So all in all, very aesthetically dramatic package, nice fit and finish, high quality, great looking handle. So this is the Takayuki Ginga Gyuto 210mm knife.